Good afternoon, students. In this today's lesson, we are going to see the remaining part of CSS, that is transformation and transitions. One of the new features of the CSS 3 is transition transformation. Majorly in CSS we have two versions, CSS 2 and CSS 3. The previous topics like font family, font size, border, margin, padding, all these topics are mainly related to the CSS 2. But today we are going to see some of the topics related to CSS 3. So, the main topics are transition and transformation. Transition means applying or changing a property value gradually, not immediately, gradually, slowly. I want to change a property value gradually, then we have to go for the transition. For example, let us take a background color we have. The background color already it is green. I want to change the green as red. But I do not want to change it suddenly, I want to change it gradually, slowly, based on some particular time frame. We will give a specific time, exact time, for example, maybe 5 seconds. So, within 5 seconds, the green becomes red. Okay? The change from the green to red happens in how many seconds? 5 seconds. Here, green is called as starting value, red is called as ending value, and the 5 seconds is called as time duration. And background color is called as a property. So, 4 points are there: property, starting value, ending value, and also we have some time. So, all these 4 properties you are able to decide independently. That means, we can take any property instead of background color, such as like background color we can take color, border color, margin, padding, any numerical or color based properties we can take. And also we can take a starting value, ending value. The starting value, ending value will be according to the which property we are taking. For example, the background color, if you take background color, the starting value can be like any color, ending value can be another color. But if you take a width property, can we give green and red as a starting and ending value? No, width is basically numerical based property. So, we can give a number, maybe some 100 pixels or 200 pixels, some number we can provide. So, and also we can specify the time duration. The time duration, for example, we have taken 5 seconds. You can also take any number of seconds as per the requirement. For example, let it be 1 second or half second or a quarter of the second. We can take any number of seconds actually. So, let us see the transition practically, then you can understand the basic appearance about that. So, have a look at once. So, we have example on transitions. Example on transitions. So, once we have taken off transitions, now we can take something like, say for example, we are taking an example of property is a width property, property is width property, and also we have taken the start value is 100 pixels, end value is 200 pixels, and also we have the duration, that means the time. For example, we are going to take 1 second for example, okay, 1 second. So, width property should be changed from 100 pixels to 200 pixels within 1 second, okay, right. Now, let us take the program for this. So, what is the example? Transition, transition.html, where we have to save it in C:/CSS folder, right. HTML head body is same. Okay, the topic name is transitions. Okay, we have a heading of transitions. Right. Let me execute this. Go to the folder and double click on the file. So, now we can see the output of transition, just we have a heading, nothing more than that. Now, I would like to place a div tag inside it. So, a div tag, what is div? Division of the page, part of the page, a box is nothing but div tag. So, for this div tag, we are going to provide id equal to div1. Now we have a div 1. For this div, I would like to apply some styles. CSS style. How to select element based on ID? ID selector we have to use, right? Hash. So hash div 1. So for this, we are going to give some background color and width. What is the starting value of the width? We are expecting the width should be 100 pixels at the starting. So that is the reason width is 100 pixels, and also I would like to increase the font size, for example 30 pixels. Now refresh. Okay, this is the 100 pixels. Now I want to change this as a 300 pixels gradually. So when I place the mouse pointer on the particular div, I want to change it really. User is going to place the mouse pointer on the particular div, then only I would like to change it. By default it is 100 pixels. When the user places mouse pointer on the particular div, I want to change it. So how to change? Have a look at once. So hash div 1 colon h over. Okay, so check the program, hash div 1 colon h over. Meaning is that when you place the mouse pointer on that, then only I want to apply some style. What is the style you would like to apply? 300 pixels. So because of h over, when you place the mouse pointer on the particular div, we are going to apply some style. So have a look at once. Presently how many pixels is it? 100 pixels. On placing mouse pointer on the now how many pixels? 300 pixels. Again when you come back, how many pixels? 100 pixels. On temporarily, on placing the mouse pointer on that, during that moment only, it is 300 pixels. Okay, right. Now, but the change from 100 pixels to 300 pixels happens immediately. I want to change it slowly, gradually. Okay, so it is like, we'll take a specific time frame. Okay, so this is the time frame. We are having an example of time frame 1 second. So this is the 1 second, it's a scale of 1 second. This is the beginning of point of the 1 second, and this is ending point of the 1 second, and the time is going on from left towards right. Okay, so at this point the starting value should be 100 pixels, the ending value must be some 300 pixels. So we can just check this 100 pixels become 101, 102, 103, 104 and so on, keep on incrementing up to 300 pixels. So finally at the end of 1 second it will be definitely reached to 300 pixels. Okay, let's see how it is possible. Okay, now let's say transition. So we have to specify the property followed by the number of seconds. For example, I want to change width property in 1 second, for example. So have a look at once. So when you, if you just place the mouse pointer on that, okay, within 1 second it is going to change. See, previously also it was changing, now also changing. The difference is that now we can feel the changing. The travel from 100 pixels to 200 pixels, or 300 pixels, we can really see that. So as of now the width is 100 pixels. On h over it becomes 300 pixels. We can see the change from 100 to 300. It happens in 1 second. For example, if you are giving 5 seconds, for example, now we can really see that, but it's too much slow. Okay, let it be less than 1 second, maybe half second, 0.5 seconds. Now we can notice, so the change is 0.5 seconds, very quick. So we can also give any less value, for example 0.2 seconds. 0.2 seconds, it's very quick. So it depends on the requirement. Okay, now we can also change any property, for example background color. The background color is, for example, blue color. Already it is a blue color, and on h over I would like to change it as green color. So the change from blue to green should be happened in a particular time frame. See, suddenly it is changing the color, suddenly all of a sudden the color is being changed, notice. So, the color change should be happened slowly, for example in 3 seconds. So, we have to give one more property, that is background color. How many seconds it has to take? For example 3 seconds. So, width will be changed from 100 pixels to 300 pixels in 3 seconds. Background color will be changed from blue to green in 3 seconds. We can specify any number, I mean 3 seconds and 2 seconds or 4 seconds, any different value we can provide. Now, notice the width is changing in 3 seconds, but background color changes gradually in 4 seconds. Now, notice I just come out, again green to blue becomes in 4 seconds. So, it happens slowly, gradually. Okay, this is what we call it as transition. Okay. So, changing a property value gradually is called as a transition. It can be width property, height property, opacity, margin, padding, alignment, okay. Any numerical property we can take, or also we can take something called maybe color based properties we can take, like background color, border color, any color based properties we can take. Okay. Now, let us try to understand the next topic, that is transformation. Okay. What is transformation? Transformation means showing the element in a different visual dimension. Showing the element in a different visual dimension is called as transformation. So, have a look at once. Transformation is the process of changing or showing, displaying the element in a different angle, in a different perspective. Instead of showing it straightly, I want to show it from a different angle, in a different perspective. So, how do we change, how do we display it from a different angle or different perspective is called as transformation. Okay. So, have a look at once. We have 4 types of transformations. The 4 types of transformations are: first one, rotate transformation, scale transformation, now first skew transformation, scale transformation, translate transformation. So, 4 types of properties available: rotate, skew and scale transformation and translate transformation. 4 types of properties are allowed. Now, let us try to understand each of these with example. What is meant by rotating? Let us try to understand. Rotating, I want to rotate the element. So, have a look at once. Rotating. So, let us say transformation. Transformation.html. Topic name is transformation. Okay, transformation. In this transformation, we are going to see the example of rotate, scale, skew and all types of transformations. So, let us try to take one div tag. Let us try to take some div tag, and for this particular div tag, we are going to apply some transformations. Okay, have a look at once. So, basically we have the default appearance is like this. Okay, so we have a div tag. It should be having some sky blue background color, and now I would like to apply some shadow effect for this particular div, shadow effect. In order to apply the shadow effect, we have to use box hyphen shadow. So, we have to give 5 pixel, 5 pixel, otherwise 10 pixel and 10 pixel. What do you mean by 10 pixel and 10 pixel? So, horizontally 10 pixels towards right and vertically 10 pixels towards bottom. The meaning is that we can notice horizontally this gap is called as 10 pixels. Again, this gap is called as 10 pixel. Horizontally 10 pixels, vertically 10 pixels. Okay, we can also give any other value for understanding, for example like 30 pixels and 30 pixels. So now we can notice the shadow. Now I want to make it blur. To apply the blur effect, we have to give some 5 pixel. This 5 pixels indicates the blur. Now as of now the shadow is very clear cut shadow. Now we can see the blur effect for the particular shadow. We can give more value, for example 10 pixels. Now it is more shadow, more blur, and we can increase the shadow area by providing spread. For example 10 pixels I am giving. This last 10 pixels is indicating the spread area will be increased. I mean the shadow will be enhanced. So before giving 10, have you noticed it is actual genuine shadow, but after giving 10 pixels the shadow area will be increased. Okay, so now instead of this example I am going to provide one more example. I am just commenting this particular code. So my recommended example for this is I am just applying 0 pixel for the horizontal and vertical. Now we can see surrounding equally all the sides surrounding, we can see the exact shadow. Okay, left side, right side, bottom side and left side. Okay, so I mean top, right, bottom, left, 4 sides we can see the shadow. So let it be having some margin. Also width I would like to increase as a 250 pixels. Height should be 100 pixels. Okay, height should be 100 pixels. Now have a look at once. Now we can see the clear cut shadow. And also I want to change the text, the color of the shadow. Instead of black shadow, I would like to apply some different color for the shadow. So let's apply some color. For example, if you are typing hash FF, we are getting hexadecimal number for the color. So if you just place the mouse pointer on that, we can see the color box. Now we can choose any color. Okay, this will be the this will be the color for the shadow. Now notice we can see the shadow color. Oops. Okay, let me change the background color for this. First we have to type here hash FF. It's a hexadecimal number. Then we have to provide some color. So this will be your background color, this will be your shadow color. Now we can see the shadow. Now my goal is that on H over I want to increase the shadow. So initially it should be having 5 pixels spread, but on H over it should be 10 pixels spread. Initially 5 pixels spread, but on H over it should be 10 pixel. The value increase notice. So the save and refresh. Now notice initially 5 pixel shadow, as of now 5 pixel shadow. On placing the mouse pointer on that, we can see 10 pixel shadow. Hence the enhancement of the shadow is being increased. Okay, now we can also take transition for this. I want to apply the box shadow in 0.5 seconds. Means in half second it has to change. Means have a look at once. So slowly it is going to increase the shadow. Now have a look at once. When you place the mouse pointer on that, slowly, gradually the shadow is being increased. Okay. Now same like this, I want to apply the transformation. Our actual topic is what? Transformation. First I would like to demonstrate rotate transformation. To apply the rotate transformation, the syntax is transform followed by a rotate. Here we have to provide the number of degrees. It can be anything, for example 1 to 360 we can give any number. So some number of degrees of rotation. For example, I am going to give 45 DEG. Notice it's degrees but not pixels. So 45 degrees will be rotated. So have a look at once. on H over, it is going to rotate 45 degrees. But all of a sudden it's happening. I want to change it gradually. So as you want to change it gradually, we have to attach the property with the transition. So transform with how many seconds? For example, 0.5 seconds. So which means that the transform property should be changed in 0.5 seconds. Now, so now we can really feel the transition. At the same time, I would like to increase the size of the particular div. Okay, how to increase the size of the particular div? To increase the size, we have to go for the scale transformation. Another type of transformation is scale transformation. For example, 1 means 1 into 100, that is 100%. 1.1 means 1.1 into 100, that is 110%. 1.2 means 1.2 into 100, that is 120%. Like this, whatever the number we have given here, with this number the 100 will be multiplied, that much percentage size will be given. That means the width and height will be multiplied with the given number. For example, we have given 1.2. Means the width will become, width is equal to width into 1.2. Height is equal to height into 1.2. So now the width and height also increasing. That means overall size is increasing. You can notice size increasing. So we can also change the number of rotation. For example, I am giving 90 degrees. Now you can notice 90 degrees like this, okay, or 180 degrees, 180. Now it is completely reverse. Notice the text. And also it is 360. If you are providing 360, so it is just complete rotation, complete 100% rotation. Okay. Now I would like to apply skew. It is actually rare to use a skew, but let me show it. Skew, some degrees we have to provide. For example, I am going to provide like 45 degrees. But this 45 degrees will be skewed. Skew means a twisting. See, the div is being twisted around 45 degrees. Okay, and the measurement of 45 degrees, it is twisting. Okay, next, okay, we don't want this presently. We are just removing this. Next is also we have the other type of rotation, that is translate transformation. To change the position, we have to use translate transformation. So let me show an example of translate transformation with a combination of buttons. So we have OK, cancel, apply this type of buttons. Some sort of buttons we have. Okay, we have some sort of buttons. Right. Now for these buttons, I would like to apply some style. So for the button, first we are going to apply the background color. And also box shadow, 0 pixel horizontal, 0 pixel vertical, and the third option is okay, spread and blur radius 3 pixel, spread is 3 pixel, and color is color we can choose from this. Okay, so we have a shadow. We can see the shadow for the buttons, and also we have margin 20 pixels, font size 20 pixels. Now we can notice font size increased, gap between the elements is called as margin, so that also increased. Now border style 1 pixel solid blue. Now we can see the blue color, just border. Just border is, you can see 1 pixel border, and also we can specify padding for example 5 pixels. Okay, now you can see the padding. Padding means the gap between the border and content. Suppose if I am providing 25 pixels, for example, you can see large gap between the border and content. Okay, this much is not required actually, just let me make it 5 pixels. And I want to increase the left side padding. Padding left is 20 pixels, padding right also 20 pixels. So only for the left side 20 pixels, only for the right side 20 pixels. For the top and bottom padding is 5 pixels only. So have a look at once. Left padding increased, right padding increased, 20, 20. Top padding, bottom padding is 5 pixels as you mentioned above. Okay. Now on H hover, you would like to change some style. So on H hover, we are going to apply some background color. For example, it should be normal green. Okay, spelling mistake. Okay, it should be normal green. Initially it was light green, now it should be normal green. But it should be changed slowly, gradually. How to change it slowly? By using transition. Transition, for example, I am just applying background color. It should be changed in 0.4 seconds. Okay, the background color should be changed in 0.4 seconds. So now notice smoothly it is changing. At the same time, the background, the box shadow also should be enhanced. Initially it should be 2 pixels enhancement, but on H4 it should become 5 pixels enhancement. Now notice when you place the mouse pointer on that, the box shadow changing, but box shadow changes suddenly. So in order to change it slowly, we have to add a box shadow also in this list. So in the 0.4 seconds only, it has to apply it has to change the box shadow. Initially this is the box shadow that we are expecting. After placing mouse pointer on that, we are expecting this one. Now we can notice, so shadow also changing, okay, smoothly. And also I want to apply some scale transformation for this. Let me add a transform property, also should be changed in 0.4 seconds. But the transformation that you are expecting is scale transformation, scale of, for example, 1.2 means 120%, otherwise 1.1 is enough, means 110%. Now we can notice 110% the scale is changing. So this is one option. So other option is that we are going to apply transform, translate. Horizontally, how many pixels should be moved? Horizontally, for example, 5 pixels should be moved. So notice carefully, when you place the mouse pointer on that, it is moving 5 pixels towards right. Just temporarily, only when you place the mouse pointer on that, it is changing 5 pixels towards right. In case if you want to move it towards left, we have to add a negative value, that is -5. Now you can notice, okay, towards left it is moving, towards left. Okay, so if you want to move towards left like this, see, when you place the mouse pointer on that, it is moving towards left. In case if you are expecting moving towards left, we have to give negative value. Towards right, we require positive value. Either of these we can specify. Okay, this is one option. Other option is that transform, translate y. So here also either positive or negative can be allowed. Suppose 5 pixels, 5 pixels. So in case of 5 pixels, so vertically it is moving, vertically. Okay, so y means vertically it is just moving. Okay, so translate x means horizontally moving, translate y means vertically moving towards down. In case if you want to move towards up, we have to give negative value, that is -5. So in case of -y, we are going to provide towards up, towards up. Okay, so how many pixels you will wish, either horizontal or vertical or left or right, I mean positive or negative, it's just up to you. So, the option is like this. So, box shadow, mainly we have to change box shadow, background color, transform. By changing these three properties, we can bring beautiful look and feel for the buttons. So far we have understood the transition and the transformation. Transition is a concept of changing a property value gradually within a particular time frame. So, we have a time frame of 1 minute, for example. At the beginning of the 1 minute, it should be some 100 pixels. At the end of the 1 minute, it should be some 300 pixels. The change should be happen gradually. Gradually, it should be happen. This is one case of transition. Second one is transformation. So, 4 types are there: rotating, scaling, skew, and translate. So, rotating is rotating based on degrees, either positive or negative. Positive means clockwise, negative means anti-clockwise, and translate means moving towards left or right, up or down. Just making a small movement smoothly is called as the translate transformation. And scale transformation means increasing or decreasing the size. And also the last one is the skew transformation. The skew transformation will make it twisting. So, generally we do not prefer using skew transformation in real time applications. Remaining 3 could be enough. So, by using the combination of all these things, you are able to bring the real time look and feel for your application. Now, let us try to explore more examples on these topics. Okay, so we have another example. Suppose we have overflow. The meaning of overflow is, suppose we have a div with some content. I am going to remove these buttons. So, let us focus on a div which contains some meaningful content. Let us say we have some paragraph. Okay, we have a simple color, and also we have very little bit gentle shadow. Okay, so I would like to add some content for this. In order to get the content, we are going to the Google Chrome and just go to terms. So, I just copy paste some content. For example, I am just having this particular paragraph here. What happens exactly, this particular content is going to be appear. I mean, as you do not want this H over, okay, I am just removing this. Okay. And also the font size should be reduced, maybe 15 pixels I think enough. 15 pixels. Okay, so and also I want the justify alignment, text align justify. Okay, font size 16 pixels. So there is a important problem that we have. So the text is going out of the box because the space is not visible. The width and height is very less when you compare to the text. We have more content and we have given small amount of width. Exactly in this situation, we require a scroll bar here to scroll the content up and down. How do we add the scroll bar? It's really simple. Just we have to add overflow auto. Once we have added overflow auto, automatically for that particular box, the scroll bar is visible so that we can see some content for that. But the other option that we have is hidden. Hidden means, so the extra text whichever not visible, not sufficient for this in this particular box will be just hidden. So you are losing this extra text here. There could be some text, right? You are losing that particular text here. The text is nowhere visible. So if you want to completely hide the particular text, then we have to give hidden. Okay, we prefer auto because in case of auto, that layout will not be disturbed. At the same time, the scroll bar will be visible to see all the content. Okay, and also we can apply some padding, for example 5 pixels, just to maintain some gap between them. Okay, now we can see overflow property. So the next property that we have, we are going to apply display property. Okay, the next example, display property. Display property means assume we have multiple divs. Multiple divs we have. So div id equal to div1, div1. So div1, div2, div3, 3 divs we have. So we have 3 divs. Where is that? Display.html. Okay, by default all the div tags are visible. I want to hide this particular div2, I don't want it. So what will I do for that particular div2? We are able to provide hash div2, okay, display none. By providing display none, what do you mean? Okay, that particular div2 should be invisible. Have a look at once the div2 removed. So the div2 place is occupied by the div3 itself. That means div3 automatically come up. Okay, so alternatively we have another option that is called visibility hidden. Visibility hidden means, so the space of the div2 will be reserved as it is, only the content, I mean the content is invisible, the space of the div2 is visible as it is. Okay, so we have several options to hide the element. So mainly display none and visibility hidden. Display none means the element is completely invisible and the space is reclaimed by the div3. But in case of visibility hidden, the space will be reserved as it is. Okay, the div3 will not come up, will be fit as it is. Okay, these two are the options to hide the information. Okay, so next property. So also we have something called, okay, so focus. So we have a text box. We are going to take some text boxes, and on focus I want to apply some style. How to create the text boxes? Input type equal to text. Also some value is required. So for example, value equal to hello. So we have some sort of text boxes, and for all these text boxes I am going to apply some style. So input means all the input tags will be selected, including text, password, checkbox, everything. How to select only the text box? We have to go type equal to text. That means we are going to select only the text boxes inside the input. For that border, 2 pixel solid blue, padding 5 pixels, font size 24 pixels. Now have a look at once about the text boxes. Okay, like this. So we have some sort of text boxes, and also I want to maintain some gap between the text boxes surrounding. So gap between elements is called as margin. So 5 pixels. So gap is increased. Gap is increasing now, and also for this we are going to apply some border for this. Okay, so border 5 pixel solid dark blue. So this should be applied only on H over. So on input type equal to text, on H over we are going to apply some border. So initially we have 2 pixel border, but on placing the mouse pointer on that it becomes 5 pixels. So but we don't want this effect for the H over for the text boxes. So actually what you require is focus. So instead of H over, if you are giving focus on cursor, when the cursor is placed, then only the style is given. Okay, so these are the several options or several properties available in the CSS. So we have understood several properties in the CSS like background color, border, margin, padding, alignment, position, and we have different options like box shadow, text shadow, and background colors, background images, opacity. So several properties we have seen. So once we have completed the CSS by today, okay, tomorrow we are going to start the new topic, that is a Bootstrap. So in Bootstrap we can export some ready-made styles. Instead of writing the own CSS code, we are able to apply the styles based on some ready-made styles. So someone has provided some ready-made CSS code, we are just loading into our application, we are trying to use the ready-made CSS styles just like wearing a ready-made shirt. So it's going to be very easy than the regular CSS. So this is all about the CSS lessons. In the next lesson we are going to start about the Bootstrap. Thank you.